funny word, rock and roll. But it's rock and roll means, Beethoven was rock and roll in his time, you know. You couldn't hear, you know, he's playing real loud.
Yeah.
You know,
Playing loud.
Playing on 10, on 10, you know.
Alan Vega, don't you think that you are the last rocker on earth?
No.
Why?
Because there'll be others
Who?
coming down, you know, after me.
Who?
Always. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Tell us, what is rock and roll?
I have no idea.
Yes, I'm sure you
No,
have.
I have no idea, man.
Where do you come from?
New York City.
What were you doing in New York before you did rock and roll?
Growing up. Growing up. Staying alive.
How did you meet Martin Reeve?
By accident. I walked into him in the street like this. He's right over here.
Yeah.
Still looking to meet him.
Don't you think that Jukebox Baby will stay in the Hall of Fame of rock and roll forever?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's good.
Just good.
It's just good, yeah. I mean, it's as good as anything else that's there, right?
A lot of people were inspired by you, no? Mm-hmm. You were stolen a lot.
They have stolen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From you.
I guess so. Well, they stole good, you know. They stole from the right person. They had good taste.
Who stole you?
Everybody. No,
Whoa.
not everybody. I don't want to go down the list. It's about this long, you know.
Drop names.
Nah, what for, man, you know. You know all the names. I don't have to tell you.
You're a good boy, you mean?
Yeah, an angel, an orange.
You're an angel in disguise, I think. Why did, at the time, Suicide split?
We never split. We just took a little...
But you said you were bored with Martin using synths all the time, and
No,
you
I never
preferred
said
guitars.
that. I never said that. He, when his, you know, he was bored with me too, if that's the case. It's not a question of guitars and synthesizers. It's just a question of a different music, you know.
You know, Alan, you are a living legend of rock and roll, but very few people listen to your music. How do you feel about it?
I don't know. It's their bad luck, you know. It's their problem. It's not mine. Right? They'll listen someday.
You think that a real rock and roller should be a loser?
No, the winner. Why a loser? I mean, what's the idea of a loser?
A
I
loser
mean,
is
drug
some-
addict,
Yeah.
you know, no, not at all. I mean, I don't think any of them are losers. I think the trip is so hard that, you know, you'll end up drinking and drugging and everything just to try and stay alive in a sense, you know.
You seem to be in very good health, no?
Yeah, I am. I
Take
am.
care of yourself?
Yeah, I started to eat, you know. I've learned how to eat.
In France, you know Bayon and Liberation
Yeah, very much.
are supporting you a lot.
Yes.
What do you think of them?
I love him, man. You know, I think Bayon's the best critic in the world. You know, really, he's great. Liberation's great. It's a great newspaper.
You have full pages every time in Liberation.
Well, I deserve it.
You deserve it,
Of
yeah.
Not really. I'm only kidding. But Bayon's great.
But don't you think it's terrible to feel as a good, genuine artist and to be obliged to travel in a van from a club to another?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it gets hard, but other
Sometimes
times,
you feel bored about it?
sometimes, yeah, and sometimes I'm very excited about it. Depends upon what my life is like at the time. You know, right now it's enjoyable. This is like, I'll be in Paris for 10 days. It's
Yeah.
great. This is the good side, you know. Then there's the bad side. So it's like life. Everything is not one thing, you know. It's one or the other, you know.
Maybe you are too avant-garde, don't you think?
No, not at all. Too behind the times, actually. Nobody could be in the future. Just the rest of the world is living in the past, that's all.
What do you think of rock and roll today?
It's pretty terrible, don't you think? I don't think there is any rock and roll, actually, anymore, you know? But it's changing. It's changed into rap, into other things, you know, which is rock and roll. Rock and roll is a language for people who like want to, you know, have something strong to say about life or something. So, you know, it's a funny word, rock and roll. But it's rock and roll means, Beethoven was rock and roll in his time, you know? You couldn't hear, you know, he's playing real loud.
Yeah.
You know?
Playing loud.
Playing on 10, on
Yeah.
10, you know, like those bands up on 10.
Why do you like Paris so much?
It's a very cool city. It's just a great city. It's beautiful visually. It's food is great. The women are great. There's a sound in the city.
Isn't it because people are raving about you here?
No, I was in love with Paris before. I was here in Paris before I was Alan Vega. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was coming here and always loving it. It's just I like the culture. You know, Paris to me. Well, it's not only Paris, France a lot. The writers, I like Camus and Sartre, and you know that whole thing. The painters. I always liked it. Ever since I was a little kid, I always liked French culture. I don't know why. Don't ask me. You know, my parents aren't French or anything, but... So when I came to Paris, first place I ever came to was Paris, when I came from America. And I always loved it, you know. That's it. I have no...
Do you sometimes look at Vegastar?
Yeah, of course.
How often?
Not too often. You can't see it anymore. It's too cloudy all the time. The air is all polluted now. Can't see no more.
But when you see it, what do you think?
It's a beautiful star. It's probably, you know, they discovered planets around the star. There's probably human life up there, or some kind of life going around that star.
You think you will go there sometime?
I might have come from there. Who knows? You don't know, you know.
Et pour être sûr de ne rien rater de Inarditube, abonnez-vous et mettez un pouce bleu.